feet planted, your knees bent, just to support the spine. If anyone decides in studio that you need more space, don't be afraid of the front row now that we've made some space there. And I'm also going to just shut off the light so it's not in your eyes. So at home, take up as much space, feet into the earth, using any props that you have. And then we'll bring both of our hands to our belly and just start to find a bit of pranayama. If you haven't already done so, close the eyes to let go of any external distractions. And mindfully come into your yogic breath. Maybe it's ujjayi because we're here in this space together. Or maybe it's in through the nose and taking sighs out of the mouth, whatever you feel comfortable with and safe. And then bringing your focus to the expansion on your belly as you inhale. And then feeling that navel come into your spine as you exhale. We'll do that one more time together. Inhale, filling up. And then exhale, navel into spine. And now start to notice the space that's created between your hands and your belly. It might be just a little bit of space that's not even that noticeable. And let's keep our intention simple today. Finding gratitude. As we roll into a long weekend, we may be spending more time with our family and friends. And it may feel as if we're giving more to others this weekend than we are to ourselves. So let's start by sending that love and energy to them by sending gratitude, being grateful for the role that they play in your life. Setting that aside and then coming back to you. I hope that this practice today is just for you. Being grateful that you made this time and space for yourself today. Being grateful for wherever your practice has evolved to. And being grateful that our practice is there whenever we need it. So if we're having a more challenging day, it might just be a reminder to take 3 breaths. And if there's anything else you wish to bring to the surface to be grateful for, set it at the heart. And on your next inhale, we're going to bring the right knee into our chest, give it a little squeeze. Find a bit of compression here. So most likely it's going to feel like soft compression, tissue to tissue. As you plant the foot, reach your arms overhead, arch your back. And then let's switch legs, draw the other knee into your chest, hug it in, give it a squeeze. Slightly tuck your chin in. Plant the foot, reach your arms overhead, arch in the back, press your shoulder blades. And start to move through that from side to side on your own breath. Remember that before you switch sides, you reach the arms, you take a breath. Try to keep that same rhythm. Once you've completed one more round on each leg, come back to the feet grounded, the hands down by your sides. Start to rock through the pelvis, forward and back. Little pelvic tilt. It's not coming to bridge yet, but we're building to that. And start to engage everything from the pubic bone up, engaging Muladhara, and also just protecting our lower back. So maybe you're more mindful of squeezing the glutes to protect the spine. And then if you're ready on your next inhale, press through the three corners of the feet. Lift the sit bones, come into your bridge pose. Palms can stay down. Holding it for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lowering nice and slow. One vertebrae at a time back into the mat. If you need to readjust, do so. Draw that navel in. Inhale, lift, squeezing the glutes. And then lowering again, one vertebrae at a time. Start to move through that with your own breath. The next time that you lift your hips, stay there, reach your arms overhead, open through the heart. And come back to that gratitude, bring that focus to heart center of Anahata. Keep the hips lifted on your exhale, bring your hands face down underneath your glutes so that you can sit on the back of the hands. Start to walk your legs out long to the top of your mat. We're setting up for fish pose. Point your toes, a little tuck of your elbows underneath your shoulders, tilt the head back. Do what's safe for your head and your neck. So maybe the head's gonna stay down today. 6 Ujjayi breaths right here. Take one more breath for yourself. Lower yourself nice and slow back down. Come up the hands by planting your feet back in the earth and lift the hips, and then just windshield wiper knees from side to side. Maybe even take your arms out to a T. And then allow the knees just to fall to the right and keep the knees staggered. So if they're stacked, maybe readjust where the feet landed. And find a gentle supine twist. And start to fill up the spaces of the ribs with your inhale. On your next exhale, allow the knees to fall to the other side. Do whatever feels suitable for the neck and the head. So maybe it's looking away from the knees, or maybe your head just needs to stay at center for today. Pressing through both shoulder blades, allowing the palms to face up to the sky to be open to receive. And keeping the heart open, of course, at our focus of gratitude today. Anahata. And on your next inhale, we're going to roll all the way onto our right side, come right into a fetal position, tucking your knees into your chest. Taking a breath here. And exhale out. And start to press yourself up. We'll come to seated. A little bit slower than my usual flows. Try to stay with that pace today. Let's move through a little bit of a seated cat and cow, lifting our heart, arching back. And then rounding the spine, tucking our chin. Inhale, lengthening through crown, dropping the shoulder. And then exhale, rounding. Moving through that again with your own breath. That's the theme today, to trust your own practice. And hopefully as we evolve in our practice, it's no longer a theme and it's just listening to what we need. And then checking in that you're not lifting the knees. I know we have the hands planted there. Try not to lift the knees off. Next time you come to neutral, we're going to start by moving with the shoulders now, bringing opposite shoulder towards opposite knee. Little soft compression here in that fold. Tuck your chin as you roll through center, and then opposite shoulder towards opposite knee. Tucking the chin, think of cat pose as we shift from side to side. And the next time we come over to that right leg, just allow your hands to walk out nice and long and tilt the head or dip the head down. Feeling the space for the side of the body and avoiding any locking of the SI. So ask yourself if you need to draw out of this forward fold at all. Walking ourselves back up, we'll inhale our arms at center. Exhale our hands back down, bring our shoulder to the other knee, and then folding over. And walking yourself back up, cactus the arms as you come to center. Exhale our hands to our heart. Close the eyes for a moment. Just a real reset of your practice. And exhale our hands down. We're going to set up for our seated butterfly. Bring the soles of the feet together. Bring your hands behind you. If it's safe to do so, lift your hips and then sit them back down and maybe even sit them closer to your heels. It feels good. Some of us will stay here having this heart opener, or we can come into a forward fold. Remember not to force anything, make any adjustments you need. And start to roll up and out and hug the knees in. Come into rabbit pose as you tuck your chin. All right, let's start to flow. We're going to meet in tabletop and step our left foot between our hands, finding your modified lunge. Layers coming off when I say we're going to flow, right? Kind of know what to expect. All right, knee above ankle. So inhale, we're going to look forward. Think of that cat and cow motion we did earlier. And then exhale, we're going to round our spine, tent the hands or use your blocks. One more like that. Inhale, we'll look forward. And then exhale, round the spine. Pick up the back knee. Lengthen through your crown. Find this alignment from the top of the crown to your back heel. Come through a little bit of movement as you rock forward and back, but keeping that front foot really planted. One of the things I see a lot in practice is that front toe wanting to lift off, front heel wanting to lift off, and let's try to avoid creating any injury. So start to find extension through your front leg. Maybe you're going to find sensation through the shin, maybe more in the hamstrings. And then bringing that knee back over top of ankle, right hand to the earth, finding your closed twist. Left arm reaches up, windmill through that top arm. And on your exhale, bring that hand down and frame our foot. Lower your back knee, heel toe the front foot a little bit for just a baby lizard lunge. We're not holding it too long today. You may just want to stay with hands to the earth. We'll find Balasana, child's pose, as you scoop that leg back, knees wide, big toes together. Honor if you need to come back to this asana at any time. If you're ready to move, we'll roll up and come back to table. Right foot forward. Finding that modified lunge. We'll inhale, look forward, find length in the spine. And exhale, rounding, tucking our chin. Inhale, finding length. And exhale, rounding. Lifting through the crown again, tuck your toes, lift the back knee, and start to move through that front hip. Making sure that we're not going so far forward that our heel lifts or our knee goes past our big toe. And then we'll bring that knee back to stack over ankle, left hand to the earth, right arm reaches up, keep hugging your front knee in. Some of us took that windmill option to wake up the shoulder. And exhaling that hand down, heel toe your front foot a little wider. Hands to the inside for that short lizard lunge. Try to keep the head lifted. Gaze to the top edge of your mat. And your choice to move back through Balasana, child's pose, or maybe right into Adho Mukha Konasana, down dog. Wherever you landed, stay there for 5 breaths. We'll all meet at the top of our mat to a standing forward fold. So rolling through table or stepping forward from down dog. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold into Uttanasana. And then start to round the spine as you roll up. Inhale, scoop the arms up, maybe bring our gaze up with us. And then exhale, hands to Anjali Mudra. Reset your practice, take an inhale. And exhale, back out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, find your forward fold. Inhale, find length. And exhale. Step back with your left foot, finding that runner's lunge again that we just moved through. This time, left hand down as you take the right arm up, bring it to the small of your back. Just hang out there for 3 breaths. Exhale that hand down to frame your foot. Step your back foot in until the heel comes down and that foot angles to the long edge of your mat. Lengthen your front leg, find your pyramid pose, drop the head down. If you're using your yoga blocks, take them to frame your front foot. Make any adjustments. It should feel good to press your back left hip forward and find more length through the hamstrings of the right side. Let's play with that cat and cow flow. We'll inhale, look to the top of our mat. Exhale, we'll tuck our chin round the shoulders. One more, inhale, look forward. And then exhale, round the spine. Stay in your pyramid pose, maybe interlace the hands at the lower back, and then start to lift the hands off if that feels good. Or hands to hips, or hands to blocks. And then exhale the hands down, step up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way back up to stand. Inhale, arms overhead. And then exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms up, interlace your hands, reach over towards the right. Maybe find your Kali Mudra or interlace hands and flip the palms up to the sky. Inhale to center, relax the shoulders. And if you're using your Kali, switch thumbs and reach the other side. Inhale, come to center, bend your knees, exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back into our runner's lunge. Right hand down, left arm reaches, finding that twist, and then bring the hand to the small of the back or wrap it to the front pocket. Whatever is accessible. Roll through your top shoulder. Always have that option to bring the back knee down. And then exhale, hand frames your foot, step your right foot in, heel to the earth, angle that foot, lengthen your front leg, finding pyramid. And pressing your back right hip a bit more forward. If you are locking your front knee at all, try to bring a little micro bend to it. Inhale, we'll look forward. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, round. And then find some length again. Look to the top of your mat or to your big toe and decide if you're keeping hands on the earth, to the hips or the lower back. Any variation you wish to take. And on your next exhale, we'll bend into our front knee. This time we're going to pivot to face the long edge of our mat to a wide forward fold. Toes angle out, knees stacked over our ankles, hands underneath our shoulders. Then dropping the head down, hang out for a few moments in this inversion. Even if you know that you can come to forearms, I really recommend starting nice and tall, and then let's build to that spot. Tilting the pelvis forward. And now if it's part of your practice and you want to walk the hands out and come down to your elbows and forearms, you're welcome to, or stay right there. 6 more breaths wherever you landed. As you finish that last breath, you're going to walk yourself back up, heel toe your feet a little closer in. We're setting up for our yogic squat. Actually, no, we're going to come more into goddess. So we're going to come up into goddess. Take your time, lifting your head above your heart, squeezing your shoulder blades back, cactus or goddess arms. Tilt the pelvis forward. Bring the forearms into close in front of your body, palms together. Squeeze your shoulders as you open. And one more like that. Bring it to close. Squeeze your shoulders back. Hands to your thighs, sitting a little deeper in your squat. Moving through a bit of our horse stance now. Bring your right shoulder to opposite knee as you round forward, similar to what we did from seated. Tuck your chin, rounding the spine, a cat, and then switching from side to side. Trying to keep the knees bent. Finish one more on each side. And we're going to pivot the right set of toes to face the back of our mat. Pivot on the back foot so that you're on the ball of the foot. So we're just facing in our runner's lunge, the back of our mat. Lower your left knee down. Heel toe your front foot. We're setting up for that lizard lunge again, but we're coming maybe a little deeper into it this time. So my right foot is fully off the mat. If that feels good for your body, coming to blocks, maybe forearms. Finding your gaze or softening the eyes. And pressing your left hip forward. Making any adjustments to that right side, keeping the front knee still stacked over ankle. And asking yourself if you can soften the grip of the jaw and the hands. Some of us will stay here, or it might feel good to reach your right arm up to the sky, maybe even roll to the edge of the right foot. Third option, if it's safe for your back knee, bending the knee and reaching to grab the foot. I'm not going to go there today, but if you have the ability to do so. And then exhale, the foot back down, the hand back down, heel toe that right foot back to the midline. Tuck your toes, that back leg. We're going to travel across the long edge of our mat, change directions. The left foot's the new front. Bring your back knee down, heel toe your left foot off the mat. Find your lizard lunge. Maybe to forearms blocks or staying tall in the hands. And we may take that left hand up to the sky, roll to the edge of the foot if it feels good, opening through the shoulder. And the next option may be bending the knee, grabbing the foot that's available. Exhale, bring the hand, bring the foot back to center, heel toe that leg. Tuck your toes, lift your back knee. We're going to change direction again, sweep across the long edge of your mat. Right foot's the new front. Bend into that right knee, float your back leg off for standing splits. Press your back hip forward. The right foot forward, or whatever version you want to do right now. Then into your front knee. We're not staying here too long. Lower the back toes down. Let's change again. Sweep across the long edge of our mat. Come to the top. Float your right foot this time into standing splits. You'll know in a second if you didn't switch legs. So left foot should be on the earth, right leg lifted. Square your hip, point your toes. 2 breaths. And step to the top of your mat this time, forward fold. Inhale, reset with a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back with your left foot into your lunge. We're going to do that again. So you're going to float your back leg off. We've just switched legs now. Find your standing splits. Square your hip. Maybe allow the heart, allow the nose to reach towards the knee. Navel into our spine, bend into your front knee, lower the back toes down, lift right up into a full crescent lunge. All right, bend into your back left knee, press your left hip forward. Scoop your right arm underneath your left for eagle arms. Round your spine as you come forward to that front knee. Engaging your core as you lift back up. One more time, rounding your spine. Lifting yourself back up, open the arms. Maybe lift the heart slightly, come into a gentle version of your back bend only if it's available to you today. Exhale, hands down. Sweep across the long edge of your mat, changing directions. Left foot stays down. Right foot lifts for your standing splits. Press your back right hip forward. Supporting leg stays slightly bent. Melting the head down towards the thigh. Hugging that navel to your spine. Lower the back, set of toes down, lift yourself up to your full crescent. Sink into that lunge. Left arm scoops underneath the right for eagle. 2 times, rounding your spine as you come forward. Navel to spine as you press up. 1 more rounding. And lifting back up to center, open the arms, maybe come into that little heart opener. Keep the front knee bent. Lift the heart to center, exhale, hands down. Sweep across the long edge of your mat. This time, step back into a plank. Lower your knees. Chaturanga Dandasana. From the knees, slowly lower down. Baby cobra, squeeze your shoulders back. And press into Balasana, child's pose. All right, now that we built a bit of fire, start to come back to a space that's ease-filled. Asking yourself if you can take your knees wider. If you can stack your fists to bring your forehead down. And start to roll up to a tabletop. We're going to come into a variation of our heart opener. So for some of us, we'll come to cow pose, arching the back and staying here. Option number 2 is coming into your puppy pose, chin and chest to the earth and keeping your hands under shoulders. And option 3 is Anahata, arms nice and long, very similar to that puppy, melting the heart, resting the forehead or the chin, wherever you need to be. We're going to be there for 6 breaths. And we'll slowly come all the way down to our belly into a Sphinx pose. Elbows under shoulders. Palms gluing to the mat. Pressing your palms to the earth, lifting your heart. From our Sphinx pose, we're going to walk our left hand out nice and long until the elbow lifts. Weave our right arm underneath. We're rolling onto our spine as we reach the left arm back, coming right into our supine twist and hugging that top knee into our chest. So just a different way to come into our twist that we did earlier. Soften the left shoulder down. We should have enough space in the studio. And see if you can bring your left shoulder all the way to the earth. So stacking your hips, finding your twists. Yeah. And allowing the palm to face up to the sky. It might feel good to grab the bottom foot coming into a quad stretch if you have the access to it. This one I do. I didn't have it in the lunge earlier. But listen to your body. If that giggle meant no, then honor it. We will roll back to our belly. Take as much time. Pick up your left hand as you come back and then bringing your hands underneath your forehead, elbows wide. Just reset the spine. And we'll take our arms back to Sphinx. Walk the right hand out, lifting the elbow, scooping the left arm underneath, palm faces the sky as we roll onto our side and then all the way onto the right shoulder, finding our supine twist on the other side. Making any adjustments you need, hips aligned. So if you're rolling onto your bum cheek, see if you can readjust that top knee at all, bring it into your chest, maybe place a block underneath the knee or thigh. And let go of any grip of the hand. Of course, if you are supporting the knee, try to still soften that grip as well. And then maybe grabbing that bottom foot if you did so on the other side, seeing what the story is on the opposite side. Like, oh yeah, our right side. Take one more breath here in our supine twist. Roll back onto our belly. Take as much time as you need. Resetting the spine, but this time tuck your toes, lift your knees, squeeze your glutes, and then soften the knees back down. And allow the feet to face the outer edge of your mat so that the inner arches of the feet are coming down to the earth. And if that doesn't make sense, just rest your feet. We'll slowly press ourselves back to child's pose. Taking a breath when you land there. Rolling back up to table, coming to seated. And centering ourselves in the middle of the mat. Heels to the earth, hands behind our thighs, lifting from our sternum. Lowering down for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees into the chest with you. If there are any final postures you wish to finish with before coming to Shavasana, take these last few breaths for yourself. I may recommend shoulder stands because we did a lot of heart and shoulders today. Maybe we need to reset the neck. Maybe you want to come into plow pose, baby pose, or maybe coming back into that bridge, whatever feels safe for you to close your practice. You're coming into shoulder stands. We'll lift the sit bones off the mat, legs up to the sky, tucking our elbows in, really making sure we keep our head at center. Feeling that length through the upper back and the thoracic spine. And if you have the space and mobility to come into plow, taking the legs overhead. And finding your way back onto your spine. Maybe windshield wipering the knees. If you're joining me for shoulder stands and plow, try not to come right up so that we don't create any lightheadedness. And finding your final posture of your practice. Being proud of your work today. And being grateful for the time that you carved out for yourself. And if the mind has wandered at all, start to count the length of your breath in and extend the exhale out. Om Shanti Shanti. Om. I'm in gratitude for this body that you have the privilege to live in and practice in. Gratitude for our mobility, the support of our lungs, and the clarity of our thoughts, our physical, our emotional, and our mental health. And that same gratitude you sent out to a family member or a friend today, mirror it back to yourself. And we'll roll to our right side. Little tuck of our chin to our chest and coming into that cocoon. Having one final positive affirmation to state at the heart. And we'll slowly come to seated. Hands to our heart, bowing the head down. Comes to third eye, Anja chakra for our intuition. Thumbs to our mouth and our throat, Vishuddha, for speaking our truth. And back to the heart, Anahata, for compassion and kindness. Thank you for joining online, and thank you to my friends in studio. Hope you had a great start to your long weekend. Namaste. Namaste.